Today we have one of our lovely clients who's joined us today to provide some feedback about the treatment that they've received within our clinic. So I'd like to welcome Jan. And Jan, it would be really helpful for us if you are able to explain a little bit about how you found us and what prompted you to get in touch with the clinic.
Well, I googled, I searched on the internet, and the Blue Tree Clinic came really high up in results, and then I found some really good reviews as well, both on Google and on other websites, quite specific to healthcare. So I decided to give it a try, and what pushed me into actually searching for help is at the moment, well, I was mentally and emotionally in a very bad place. So I think that was one of the darkest times, or the worst periods of my depression, and I could say that probably having that first appointment booked actually allowed me to survive for these 2 weeks, and because I had something to look forward to. Suffering from depression for probably over 20 years, periods of really low moods, occasional suicidal thoughts, and at some point I just decided I have to do something about it. I just can't keep living on like this. So that's why I got in touch with you.
So it's such a big decision to make, and huge in your recovery, wasn't it, that initial step? And when you took that step, who was your first point of call within the clinic?
The first person from the clinic I saw was Mark, who after the initial appointment put me on medication and referred me to you for therapy.
And I remember back then that it was a really tough time for you, and you were really struggling, and it's such a huge transformation to where you are today. What do you think was the most helpful aspect of your therapy, do you think?
As therapy goes, there was a whole set of new skills, new tools I could use to improve my life, on new perspectives I got.
So I remember when you first started therapy that there were a lot of hopeless thoughts, and you were in a really difficult place, weren't you? And I think something that stood out for me was that it wasn't just a straight road for recovery. Was that there were some difficult times, and during those difficult times, you turned around and said to me that I feel that I have the knowledge about what I need to do to help myself. So it feels more within my control rather than the depression controlling me. I think that was something that I remember from our therapy together.
Yes, I mean, to be honest, I came first started my therapy with certain expectations, and I was kind of expecting that to be less efficient in a way, to be thrown some psychology at me, rather than what actually happened was you guided me into coming up with the right questions for me, and you guided me into finding the right answers to these questions. So I was not being patronizingly given answers, but also as you said, it's not a straight road. So I definitely had my ups and downs, and I had my bumps, but well, the great thing about this is that I was given a set of tools that will last me for the rest of my life.
So now you've finished your treatment with us, it'd be really useful for us to know, and the public, to know whether you would recommend the Blue Tree Clinic, and if so, what in particular you found useful.
Well, I would definitely recommend the clinic because it's well, one thing is it's centrally placed in London, easily accessible. There's, as you know, we're meeting on Sundays, so there's weekend appointments available. The admin team is really communicative and helpful, and people that dealt with yourself and Dr. Silvert are really friendly and professional and communicative.
Brilliant.
And I know that private healthcare is not cheap, but I decided I really needed the best quality of service, best quality of help I can get, so I didn't want to really risk waiting for NHS appointments.
So yeah, I'm really curious to know what piece of advice you would give someone who is just about to pick up the phone and call the Blue Tree Clinic.
Well, I would definitely want to convince them that improvement is possible, because where I was in my life for years, I didn't believe in possibility of changing the situation, and it's not easy, but it's doable. It requires work, but there's a plan, there's a method to it, and it really is possible to turn your life around and make it so much better.
And it really was a pleasure working with you, Anna, and seeing you through your journey through to recovery. And I'd just like to thank you for providing your feedback today, because I think it will be so helpful for us as a clinic, and also for everyone else kind of watching who may be thinking about whether now's the right time for therapy.
No, thank you for your help.